Have a nice day, I say to the woman handing me my boarding pass. What I should wish her is a nice life, because it's not like I'm ever going to see her again. But I don't. We live in a modern society. So where does one find love? George Washington's last advice to this country was to pursue a policy of isolationism. It's a shame we took him so seriously. In the ensuing years, our government has become distant from all other nations of the world, but recently they've begun to extend this policy towards their own people. And within our nation, the theme of isolation continues, because as we splinter along racial, romantic, and political lines, sometimes it seems as if we all live together, alone. But the good news is that these broken bonds can be reformed in the same fashion which they were first shattered. One person at a time. The Splinter Factory by Jeffrey McDaniel. When I haven't been kissed in a long time, I sneak into the ladies' room at a fancy restaurant, dig through the trash can for a napkin where a woman checked her lipstick, then I go home, put on candles, berry white, and press the napkin firmly all over my body. Yeah, give me 1 Uncle Sam's pizza, and 3 medium sodas, 4 plates of spaghetti with eyeballs, the eyeballs of a voyeur, and 5 orders of breadsticks. Only instead of bread, I'd like the fingers of a Kosovo refugee. So I can know forever, on the inside, what it's like to wave goodbye. Dear man whose marriage I wrecked, if it's any consolation, when your wife took me into her mouth, I closed my eyes and pretended I was a piece of wedding cake. No, what I'm really trying to say is I tumbled into her arms like 1,000 reluctant dominoes. I mean, don't you think it's odd that you can buy phone sex or a blowjob or a lap dance and a snap, but can't pay someone to just sit next to you on a park bench and simply hold your hand? Nixon fell in '74, like a painting off the wall. And we busted out the lighter fluid, the marshmallows, danced around the bonfire of him, ripped off our paisley blouses, made love so cosmically, even the sun came. But when the drugs wore off, what had changed? When they said Watergate, we expected an ocean, a river at least, to irrigate sunflower seeds of protest. Not Gerald Ford in the see-through apology brandishing a half-finished bottle of seltzer. Now, 26 years later, we're free-falling into the ass crack between centuries. While the supreme courtesans prance around the truth in high heels and black negligees. Oh, Scalia, I get so wet when you stuff your bra and panties with uncounted votes cast by minorities. Come on, Sandy, baby, let's grind to the sound of a hypocrite rubbing his 2 faces together. Bush jogged for president on a hangman's platform. I just hope he wears a white robe and halo when executing people, because if you're going to play God, I think you should dress like him, too. If you keep taking stabs at utopia, sooner or later there will be scars. I wish the White House was made out of mood ring rock reflecting the health of the nation. Look, needle exchange programs, emotional baggage thrift stores, a Mount Rushmore for assassins. We live in a modern society. So where does one find love? "13 years ago, you hid the hurt under the blanket of your voice. Said, I guess there's 2 kinds of women, those you write poems about and those you don't. It's true, I never slid sonnets under your door. I never served you haiku in bed. My idea of courtship was tapping Jane's Addiction lyrics on your window at 300 a.m., whiskey doing push-ups on my breath. Because I know it's so much easier to be charming to a busboy than kind to the person that you love. I wish that we'd deciphered the calligraphy of each other's eyelashes, or translated a paragraph from the volumes of what couldn't be said. Being without you is like standing at the edge of a cement-filled well with a roll of Yugoslavian nickels trying to make a wish. Some days I thought about you so hard one of your legs would pop out of my ear. Some days I miss you so much. Some days I miss you so much I would jump off the roof of your office building just to catch a glimpse of you on the way down. But you're here. I'm there. Watching the news about Amadou Diallo. My 8-year-old cousin Jake asks, how come they don't make black people with bulletproof skin? I tell Jake that there's a world before this one, where humans change colors like mood rings, and that Earth is a junkyard planet, where they send all the broken humans stuck on one color. But pseudo-angels, in a world before this one, offer deals to black fetuses to give up their space on the shuttle to Earth. They say, wait for the next one. Conditions will improve. 7 years ago, I sat in the front seat of a car, antenna smoldering with crack cocaine between my lips. An undercover piglet hoofed up to the window. I ditched the antenna, shoved the crack rock up my ass. Cops swooped in from all sides, dragged me out. I ran into the burning building of my mind, dug through the ashes of my conscience until I found my educated white male dialect, which I stuck in my voice box and pressed play. You see, officer, I'm going to be real honest with you. Blah, blah, blah. You see, the sad truth is, my skin whispered into his pink ear, I'm white. You can't pin shit on this pale cloth. This pasty fabric is pin resistant. Now slap my wrist so I can go home, take this rock out of my ass and smoke it. If Diallo was white, those bullets would have bounced off his chest like spitballs. We live in a modern society, so where does one find love? And lately, with this whole war thing, the language machine supporting it, I feel betrayed by THE alphabet. Like they're injecting my syllables with strychnine, naming attack helicopters for decimated Indian tribes, Apache, Black Hawk. And I don't know how to speak words of love when the only sexual fantasy I have is busting into the Pentagon with a bazooka-sized pen and blowing open the minds of generals. And the white people say, we gave them February, Black History Month, but it's so much easier to have a whole month than an actual conversation. Do you know how you go crazy? Do you know how you go crazy? One marble at a time. Man, life is a song. Life is a song, and we're the chorus. Riding the subway is a chorus, driving the freeway is a chorus, but you gotta watch out. Because you don't know when all the other instruments are gonna drop out, and then ta-da, it's your moment in the lit spot, the barometer of your humanity, and you will hear the footsteps of a hush rushing through the theater as you aim for the high notes with the bow and arrow in your throat. I want an alarm clock that forgives me. I want to step out of my life like an airplane. I want to desegregate heaven. I want to die in the arms of a revolutionary idea. I want to shut down this factory of mistakes. I'm sorry. Sorry all the kisses I scribbled on your neck were written in disappearing ink. Sorry this poem took 13 years to reach you. But I comfort myself with the knowledge that we can teach our first child to never ignore the first straw. Because nobody ever pays attention to the first straw. It's always the last straw that gets all the attention. But by then, it's way too late.
Anything else? Sir, is there anything else?
We live in a modern society. Find love. Have a nice life.